Hi witches, I will warn you now, the next 2 days are very, very long days. I did not realize how long. I'm also noticing, as I remember, day 115, there's a bunch of different versions of it, so quite literally the whole thing is 3.5 pages long, so you're just gonna have to sit here and listen to me talk, unless you want to quite literally fast forward. It's up to you. I really have no prompts for you to go to this spot. Anyway, so day 106 is Beltane. There are 2 high Sabbats within the annual cycle of the witches' celebrations. The first occurs at Samhain, on October 31st. The sobering and solemn rites of death and return mark the occasion. Directly on the other side of the year, halfway through the wheel of seasonal celebrations, you arrive at the festival of Beltane, which occurs on May 1st. Beltane is a complementary celebration to that of Samhain. It is the sweet yang to Halloween's grim yin. Beltane is a joyous, open-hearted celebration of life, as might be suggested by its balancing counter-placement in the wheel cycle to that of Samhain. When you keep in mind that Wicca is a fertility religion, this knowledge may buffer any surprise you might have in learning that Beltane focuses on the principle of life as generated through the energies of physical sexual union. The word Beltane is the Anglicanized version of the Irish Gaelic word Beltane, which is the name of the month of May. It is also related to the Scottish Beltane, which means May Day. The original word was derived from the Bell fire, which is the fire lit on the first day of May in honor of the Celtic god Bel, who was a sun or light god, also known as Beli or Belor, in order to symbolically announce the return of light and life into the world. The ancient Celts built bell fires with wood found in local oak groves. In some accounts of ancient Druid rites, the festival would sometimes culminate in the ritual sacrifice of a man who signified the oak god. The priests offered the sacrifice to renew the blood of the earth. One such Celtic rite involved the burning of criminals and prisoners who were offered in sacrifice in the bell fires. In ancient accounts from invading Romans, the Druid priests would supervise entire villages in the construction of large human figures fashioned from oak branches and pitch. Captives were then locked inside of the tall wooden figurines, which the celebrants would subsequently set aflame. In other less dramatic ancient Beltane rites, celebrants would cut branches of May, which consisted of budded hawthorn limbs. They would then bring the branch of May into their homes as a sign of the goddess's return. Celebrants might also cart the branches around the village from one door to the next as a gesture of blessing. The Irish believed that tying a green bough of a tree, another form of the branch of May, to a stable would cause a cow to produce an abundance of milk. A lover might also place a green bush in the front yard of his beloved's house on May Day Eve, believing that the fertilizing power of the nature spirit contained in the shrub would bless their union. Another old May Day custom consisted of hunting wild hares. Contemporary occultists note that the hare has both strong lunar and fertility associations, and believe that it was for these symbolic reasons that ancients held the sacred hare hunts on Beltane. Old lore of the sacred hare hunt stated that if one captured a hare on May Day, he or she would be assured of blessings for the home and family. The maypole is another sacred blessing tied to the rites of Beltane. May Day, and I'm gonna butcher that word so much, I'm not even gonna attempt it. The maypole graphically represented the king's phallus, and it was planted deep in the earth to initiate the new season of growth and fertility. Celebrants would decorate the pole with ribbons, bells, and flower garlands. Later, they would dance around the pole to invigorate the earth. Maypole rites were so popular through Europe that the church, indignant at the sight of such open popular affection for pagan practices, had difficulty in stamping them out. The church's early attempts to eradicate these practices, including efforts to incorporate them in their own Priapus rituals. In one account, a parish priest tells of a church-sponsored Priapus procession in which the villagers carried a pole that was representative of male reproductive organs. In contemporary May Day celebrations, Wiccans embraced a liberated and direct expression of their sexuality. If this might be too daring for you, just yet, perhaps Beltane can be a time for you to openly examine your sexual views, your taboos, obsessions, and practices. Sex is a part of living, and in order to embrace life fully, which is embrace all of life's components. A word to the wise. Wicca is a decentralized, a grassroots spiritual endeavor, so official perspectives on any subject matter do not exist. However, most practitioners understand that sexuality is a personal expression. It should be an uninhibited expression of pleasure between consenting adults. Whether you are homosexual, bisexual, heterosexual, any form of sexual repression, inhibition, or disregard for one's own or someone else's sexual orientation is not in keeping with the spirit of the craft. If you have puritanical views on sexuality, it sounds like someone needs therapy. For witches, sexual energy represents the merging of individual consciousness into a collective consciousness. Through sexual union, both literally and symbolically, two become one. It is representative of the process through which an individual merges with the divine force. Because witches expand their sexual views to include this more symbolic, sacred understanding, the sexuality of Beltane moves them beyond culturally stereotyped and often repressive overlays. In the pagan view, sexuality should be uninhibited and spontaneous, a direct manifestation of one's sexual expression. Practice. A May Eve incantation. What you'll need: a flower, such as a rose, with many petals that you can strip from the plant and strew about, or a variety of fresh greenery. A 5 to 6 inch red taper candle, another fresh flower intact. Traditionally, witches recite various chants on Beltane Eve. Tonight, at midnight, mark out a 9-foot diameter circle on the floor using flower petals or greenery. Light a red candle. Hold the candle in your right hand and hold a flower, a well-budded branch of greenery, or other fresh plant in the left hand. Hold both candle and vegetation to the sky. Stand in the east of your circle of flowers and begin walking clockwise. Then recite the following chant 3 times. Make sure, likewise, that you circumambulate the perimeter of the flower circle 3 times while chanting. Oh, do not tell the priest of our arts, for they would call it a sin. But we will be in the wood all night, a conjuring summer in. And we bring good news by word of mouth, for women, cattle, and corn. For sun is rising up from the south, with oak, ash, and thorn. And like I said, that was kind of wordy. Near the end, I require new glasses. And so some of my wording, I'm trying to read the fine print with nothing. So I'm terribly sorry, and I'm probably going to say this again. I am terribly sorry that that happens. But, like I said, I'm going to squint at the page a couple times. Anyway, that is all I have for day 106. Next is day 107. Again, it's a lengthy one. I apologize. You'll hear me prattle on, and probably more sexual stuff. So if you don't want to hear about that, you don't want to see it, you're squeamish, whatever, you're a bit of a prude, skip over that day. Probably have to skip over quite a few days. I I don't want to offend anybody, but I will not post stuff because someone else is squeamish. Putting it out there. We're our own people. I am warning you. I will warn you at the beginning of the next one too. If you do not want to read it, to watch it, don't watch it. Anyway, that's all I have for today for you. Blessed be and keep crafting, witches.